Okay, in this lesson, I am going to go over the notes from 11.1. This section is on volume. Oh, hold on. .1 notes. There we go. Okay. So let's go through this. A polyhedron is a solid formed by faces that enclose a single region of space. A face is a flat polygonal surface of a polyhedron. An edge is a segment where two faces intersect. A vertex is the point of intersection of three or more edges. A polyhedron is classified by the number of faces. The prefix for polyhedrons are the same as for polygons, except a polyhedron with 4 faces is called a tetrahedron. A regular polyhedron is defined where all faces are congruent, and regular polygons, which meet at each vertex in exactly the same way. A prism is a special type of polyhedron with 2 faces called bases, which are congruent, and parallel polygons. The other faces in the polyhedron, which are called lateral faces, are faces that connect the corresponding edges of the bases. The lateral faces meet to form lateral edges, as shown here. Prisms are classified by their base. For example, a prism with a triangular base is called a triangular prism. A prism whose lateral faces are rectangles is called a right prism. A prism which is not a right prism is an oblique prism, as shown below. Notice the altitude for a right prism is right along one of the edges. However, for an oblique prism, the altitude is outside of the prism. The altitude is always perpendicular to the plane, to the base, perpendicular to the plane that intersects that base. A pyramid is a polyhedron with only one base. The other faces are called lateral faces. They meet to form lateral edges. A pyramid, even though all of these are technically vertices here, when we talk about the vertex of the pyramid, we're referring to the top point of that pyramid. If a question in the homework asks you, what's the vertex? Refer to the top point. Cylinder. Cylinder is a solid with a curved surface. The segment connecting the centers of the bases is called the axes of the cylinder. The radius of the cylinder is the radius of the base. And a cone is another solid with a curved surface. So again, the vertex of the cone refers to that point. An axis for a right cylinder is straight up and down, and it's going to be slanted for an oblique cylinder. Are cylinders and cones polyhedrons? No, they are not. Polyhedrons consist only of flat surfaces or polygons. So if it has a curved surface, it is not a polyhedron. In the homework, you'll also see the word sphere and hemisphere. Oops. Okay. Sphere is basically let me just do a little bit better job there, a ball. A hemisphere is half of a ball. So a sphere, hemisphere. Okay. That concludes the notes for lesson 11.1.